And welcome, everybody, once again to Mesilla Valley News Sports. I am Gino Aragon, and once again, we are going to be talking sports as we always do every Tuesday night here at the Amador Live Eatery and Entertainment District. Of course, it is, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of a chilly night out there, and that we had some rain showers earlier, but honestly, it was pretty nice, and you could smell that rain in the air, and it's pretty good outside here on the patio. As you know, we are just outside of the Broken Spoke Tap House, and you can come out to the patio and join us tonight and join us every Tuesday as we talk a little bit of sports here in the Mesilla Valley. And just to go over a few things that were happening recently, I don't know if you heard, when we had Mario Mocha here last time, just before we took our break, we were getting ready for the Quick Lane Bowl, and he was talking about the idea of selling tickets to a lot of donors that would then be actually handed out to Detroit-based youth groups, and that would be to go ahead and raise money to go ahead and make the trip possible and everything else, and to help out that way. Well, you ask the Aggie Nation for support, and the Aggie Nation pulls through for sure, as they were able to get 282 donors to help out for a grand total of $111,502. That's right. So depending on their level of donation, supporters could receive incentive packages with gifts including commemorative tickets signed by head coach Jerry Kill, which would be very important, getting that win for sure. And of course, some travel gear, a 2022 NM State helmet, among others. So the Aggies, of course, went on to defeat Bowling Green 24-19 in the Detroit, which was also very chilly up there, to capture the program's second bowl win in 5 seasons, which I'm hoping we're going to get a whole lot more in our future, especially since it looks like they had a pretty good recruiting class. I think they got 38 new players to come in for the football team, so things are looking good right there. Also, speaking of NMSU, earlier this weekend, they announced the 2023 U.S. Bank NM State Athletics Hall of Fame class. They got 3 new members for the class, and they were recognized at the halftime of Saturday's men's game. And New Mexico State Director of Athletics, Mario Mocha, announced that Elliot Avent from baseball, Bob Jackson from football, and Desiree Scott from volleyball will be inducted into the Hall of Fame following a process completed by New Mexico State Hall of Fame Selection Committee. So congratulations to the new members of the Hall of Fame for NM State. And, of course, look forward to seeing their pictures and a little bit of that information, and when they actually get the whole induction ceremony done, because that'll be a whole lot of fun. And, of course, the big news that everybody was talking about earlier this week, Tom Brady retiring? What?
No.
What is that right there?
No.
Let me go ahead and bring in Max right here, because, of course, we like talking a little bit more with sports. And, yeah, Tom Brady retired. Can you imagine that?
I think that Brady and Aaron Rodgers should go to Vegas and they could fight over who's going to be the star. We would take them both at this point. I don't care.
I'm sure that you would. Tom Brady probably has a little bit, but of course, I can't think anything. Brady was my starting quarterback for a fantasy football team. And I didn't come in last. I didn't come in first. Far from it, but I didn't come in last. I was very happy about that. He actually did really well for the season. So that was not too bad. Of course, all the drama that happened with Giselle and everything else that was going on with that. He was
distracted, yeah.
I think he was a little bit distracted, but, you know, she made her choices. She decided what she was going to do. So he's retiring and moving on to his next adventure, which will be heading into the broadcast booth, but not until 2024. So he's going to be taking the 23-24 season off and then coming into the booth in the 24-25 season. So I don't know. I mean, if you're Tom Brady, you've been playing all these years, all the drama that happened this season, you're newly divorced, take a little time off. I'm just saying, yeah, go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas. A bunch of players will start talking to him. Hey, Tom, come on.
Come on, just for
you're not.
Maybe
you're not
drawn to going with him for one season. Why not?
You know,
I don't know that it would matter.
I don't know. They were talking that they might have him sign a one-day contract with New England so that he could retire as a Patriot.
Technicality.
Technically, he would be a Patriot when he retired, not a Buccaneer.
Yeah.
So, which I always thought that little juxtaposition was interesting.
Just retire.
Just retire, head to Vegas, enjoy the buffets. I don't know, whatever.
Infomercials, do something.
Whatever retired quarterbacks do at that time. I don't know. Get prepared for, you know, ooh, what do we got here?
Look at this here.
Oh, now normally you kind of surprise me a little bit into the mix with some of the tasty treats that you have here. And I'm going to set this up right here. There we go. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's go ahead and take a look at that there.
there it is.
There you go. That looks good. That looks really good.
We have Chef Enrique here. He's going to be giving you a little detail on, this is our feature of the month.
Chef Enrique, grab the mic right here and just describe what we've got for us today.
So what we have is
a little bit closer.
Sirloin. So what we have is a 6-ounce sirloin on a bed of a jalapeno chimichurri,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's a steak and fries, and then the fries are red chili parmesan garlic fries.
Wow. Spicy?
It's got a little hint, but nothing like too crazy.
Yeah, it's more like a pop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm the steak, you know.
Absolutely. The steak looks delicious.
Well, you're going to get to try it because here it comes.
Oh, great. Keep it right over here. Let me get the camera out. Now, I am going to warn you, I am not a spicy person.
Well,
but
here's the test. Here it is.
Yeah, this will be oh my goodness, that, you know what? I don't even need the knife right there because you've got it sliced up and everything ready to roll. Just take that one here at the end. Get a little bit of that cherry sauce on there. Wish me luck.
Yep.
Okay.
That's good, huh?
Oh, steak is juicy.
Yeah. No, they got a little secret, but it's really coming together good. That chimichurri sauce is just off the.
You're right.
Charts.
It's not spicy, but you can definitely get that jalapeno flavor in there. So if you like that flavor of jalapeno without the spice, that is actually really, really good.
Yeah, we toned it down. Even the red chili fries are.
Yeah.
Try one of those.
Yeah, there you go.
Chili fries. Try one of those.
I want to try one of these too. Alice.
See, just a little bit.
Mhm.
Just a little.
And I love your fries. They're just the right amount of crispiness. Actually, I'd say that's a little bit more spicy than the jalapeno, but it's got a good flavor to it. And I do like my red a little bit more than my greens. So, yeah, that is actually really tasty. And is this your really special, or is this just something you have on the menu?
We're actually going to replace it with the pork chop.
With a pork chop? Oh, I've had your pork chop before. Those things are good.
Yeah.
So
we might change up the pork chop a little bit, but for now we're going to add that. It's been a popular dish.
oh, good. Yeah, so you can come on down here to the Amador Live at the Broken Spoke.
We could get
Either way, in any place up here, and try that out. The official, what is the official name?
Southwest Steak and Fritz.
Southwest Steak and Fritz. Remember that one when you come down here and try that.
Steak and Fritz.
And if you like your jalapeno flavor, that has definitely got it. But that steak is delicious. That is really cooked well.
Yeah, and it's a sirloin, and it's real tender.
It is actually really tender. It's got a very nice texture on there, very juicy, and just the right amount of crust on the outside right there, which is exactly what I like. So more of a I'd like just that with a little steak with a little salt and pepper seasoning on there at the steak. That's for me is the perfect meal every time. So I'm never going to turn down a steak.
Feels good, you know. It doesn't feel like when you're done with that. You won't
No. That's a good size. That's about what, an 8 ounce?
It's 6 ounce.
6 ounce. Okay, yeah, that looks very tasty up on there. And I think it's fried onions up on top.
Fried onion strings.
Oh yeah. There you go. I feel bad eating because I know this mic is picking up everything that I'm doing. It's chewing in the whole thing.
That gives them all the.
Mm.
We can make a sound effect out of it.
I probably could because those are crunchy and tasty. Cool.
Too.
Yeah, go ahead and grab it.
Thanks, Chef.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
I'll have to box that up and ready to roll.
Yeah, he's been in those boys in the kitchen, man. They've been really looking at getting ready for Valentine's Day week, which is finally here. We call it Valentine's Day week because what we found is, you know, you can't fit everybody in on one night.
No.
So we try and make a weekend out of it. So
well, you can make the weekend out of it. You can make the week. I mean, there's a lot of people whose schedules are different. You know, it's this one thing that I've noticed, especially today, these modern days. I was going to come up a little bit. Okay, we're good. Is that nobody has a normal work schedule.
Yeah.
You know, nobody has a normal work week. Some people have taken some time off during the week. Some people are working more weekends. So the fact that you can come out over here and enjoy something like that and have a beverage or two, because that looks good right there too. What are you drinking?
Oh, right here we have the so we just put these on tap in the spoke.
Mhm.
So we have 2 from Ireland getting ready for the big day next month. But
That's going to be a lot of
but
fun.
we're giving them a test drive. So we have Sullivan's Irish Ale.
Oh,
So it looks more like a
looks a little red.
like yeah,
Yeah, then it does.
darker,
Yeah.
but it actually finishes very much like an ale. And we have these Sullivan's Marble Stout right there.
Ooh.
So that one's going to be darker, heavier, and a little more syrupy. But
Mm.
we got these straight off the boat. So
Straight off the boat and into the top.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and they'll be here for the rest of this month and all of next month.
Wow.
Hopefully they'll make it to St. Patty's Day because a lot of people are already starting to drink.
No, I can smell. You took a sip of that stout, and I
Yeah.
can smell it.
Yeah, no,
And-
it's put together well.
And a little bit of my memories that come back every once in a while ago are like, oh yeah, that would be good. We're not going to do it though. Don't worry. I'm not going to. I used to tell people that they'd say, "Oh, did you fall off the wagon?" I said, "No, man. I watched it pass by. I was waving at it as it passed by." But nope. Now I'm pretty much driving it. So, but yeah, that does smell really, really good. And I know a lot of my friends. Yeah, a lot of my friends, they would really enjoy that stout.
Yeah.
So that one's a really, really good one. And of course, speaking of like some of the events that you've got coming up, you've got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next few weeks.
we have all the Valentine's Day events starting Thursday. So Thursday night, what it is we have the paired menu available beginning Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and Thursday will be Chris Baker, so he'll be here starting at 8:00, and then we have Josh Lucero is going to be playing on Friday, and then he's also bringing his trio on
Ooh, that's
Saturday.
nice. Okay, what is Stupid Cupid Emo Night?
So Stupid Cupid Emo Night is we wanted to make sure everybody was included for Valentine's Day. So we have a DJ Mike G is going to be hosting Stupid Cupid Emo Night in 575. And basically the deal is come on in, enjoy it. There's no cover. It's kind of like a reverse Valentine's date singles kind of thing. Bring your best breakup story, 250 words or less. We will vote on them. And I think first prize is a VIP table to the midget wrestling on St. Patty's Day. We have a gift card for tattoo removal. And then we also have a massage gift card, all that for Stupid Cupid Emo Night, which is this Saturday.
That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And, you know,
There might be a special guest. I think Cupid might show up.
Cupid might show up?
Yeah, he might be there.
Is he going to get beat up?
Probably.
Yeah.
A couple extra guards for him.
You got it. You got to have the big bodyguards for Cupid because
especially in that place.
Yeah.
In that setting. And then of course the actual Valentine's Day, which is Tuesday. We have Isaac and Skeevy are going to be doing their sets. That's going to be really good.
Yeah, you go.
And that's also a paired menu. Really, the only difference between the nights is on the actual Valentine's Day. That's the only menu that will be available is
the paired menu.
But any of the other nights this week, if you can't make Valentine's Day proper, so to speak, you can grab you can try out the Valentine's Day menu, which is a 4-course paired meal, plenty of signature cocktails, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so like I said, you got a bunch of stuff. Nice to see Chris Baker coming back in, but that was actually last week.
Yeah,
that's this Friday.
Yep.
So, like I said, you've always got something going on here, and of course, after Valentine's Day.
Actually, before we get into the March stuff, we have another event that's important, very important, which is February 16th, and we'll be putting the post out tonight, or maybe tomorrow. And what that is, we're just waiting for him to finish it up. But if you'll recall, last week we had Cynthia Aguilar here.
Yep. We're talking about the fundraiser to help her out in her fight against breast cancer.
Yes, yeah. She's a local public school teacher, got diagnosed. Needs some help with some of her treatments for chemo, And so what we're going to do is we put together a special menu called Cynthia's Menu, and it'll be available next week at the Spoke on the 16th, which is next Friday. Is that right? Or Thursday?
16th.
I believe it's Thursday.
Right.
Whatever the 16th is.
You don't
So,
ask me to tell
yeah,
you
Thursday.
exactly dates. I know.
Yeah.
I know Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Thursday.
Right. So we'll all be here on Thursday night, starting at 4 p.m. You can order off that menu. We're going to be donating the proceeds to her fund for medical bills, and also she's going to be donating a portion to Project Care.
Mhm.
So we're trying to do a little bit of both. But Jez and the other boys, Draven from Fats Crates, they told me about it, and she was here last week just talking about it. And I thought, that'd be cool if we can do something for her. So we're gonna try and raise some money for her, and then I believe we are also going to be auctioning off one of the ringside tables for the midget wrestling on St. Patty's Day. So it's all going for a good cause.
Absolutely. So I would encourage anybody out, even if you're just looking for a night out, come out on that night to the Broken Spoke and help her out, because, anybody's battle against cancer, because, we can say basically cancer, but I could say it, we're on the internet, we're not anywhere else, but that battle is always a tough one, and there's always expenses that just kind of surprise you, and oftentimes, unfortunately, sometimes that battle is against your own insurance company. So I think that would help out.
Yes.
And to help her out. And I understand that some of the proceeds and some of the other stuff is going to be donated to cancer research as well in general.
Yes.
She had mentioned that last week as well. So it's not just that you're helping her out, but in general, you're helping out in everybody's battle against cancer, so that we can hopefully find a cure for all of that as well.
Right.
And then do we move into March?
Yeah, I mean, so we'll get through Cynthia's night, and then that'll, all of a sudden February's over, and we're moving into March. There's going to be a few. We're gonna be starting to rev up some of our patio music if the weather cooperates. If it doesn't, we'll just keep it inside. But we're just moving towards St. Patty's Day. That's going to be obviously a very big day for not only the Amador, but for downtown in general. I know they have a big event going on down on the plaza, which is going to be cool. And downtown will definitely be the place to be on Friday, March 17th, all the way around.
All the way around, yeah. I know that they've got some big plans right here, but our plans in general with us, we're going to be hanging out with you guys right here, because there's no way after last year that I'm going to miss this at all.
Oh, you have the highlight reel, I see.
I do have the highlight reel, and I am going to
play it.
Oh, I'm going to play it. Oh,
right,
I'm going to play it right here. So if you happen to miss last year and you missed out on this, you don't want to. That's the wrong one. I hate when I do that. Okay, this right here, you want to miss out on this at all. And you said you had when you guys put this together for you guys?
So
take the volume down a little bit on there.
We're expecting a very big crowd since it's about a week.
There you go. Okay.
You need to call 575-541-7417 and get those tables reserved. There's a limited amount of ringside tables and patio tables, and then we'll have as much general admission seating as we can possibly fit in here.
And I'm going to tell you, sometimes you walk in here to the Amador Live and you look out on the grass, you look out on the patio, and you go on like, wow, that doesn't seem like a big area. But I witnessed it myself last year. We had a ring, we had tables, we had a whole lot of fun last year with these guys, and it was one of the first big events that I had the opportunity to come out with for a while after and just to see that ring right there and how much fun everybody was having. It was just a blast. And oddly enough, the guys needed some help, so I ended up behind the merch table for St. Patrick's Day. And when I say behind the merch table, not just hanging out with them, I was like, they're going like, who needs a lucha mask? Who wants a pin? Who wants a t-shirt? You want a t-shirt? I got t-shirts for you. You need a lucha mask. You look like you need a lucha mask. Whatever you do in the privacy of your own home is your thing. You can do whatever you want with a mask, but and it was a whole lot of fun. And then just the wrestling, some of the athleticism between some of these guys is amazing, because they did have a lot of luchadors out there, and anybody familiar with luchador professional wrestling, they have these high flyers that were getting up on the top of the ropes and diving off of the into the
it's
ring
kind
and
of
stuff.
got a
And
renaissance going on where it's there's several companies that are kind of sprouting up all over the country that are touring doing this thing, and they'll the midget wrestling warriors in particular, they're out of Brooklyn, and they're really taking off. They're starting to do I think they're working on like a reality show right now, and actually when they're here for the 17th, we're going to be filming part of the reality show as part of
that'll be cool.
Yeah, as part of their,
I'm trying to remember the guy that is the head that's running it.
well, his stage name is Short Sleeve Samson.
That's right.
That's the guy.
Yeah. Well, some people may remember Short Sleeve Samson because he actually did a small reality program a few years ago with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Now, see, you happen to hit on the fact that I am a professional wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you know,
he was in that one with Hulk.
Yeah, he was in that one with Hulk, and they had the whole thing. So I remember him. It was really good to meet him. He was a cool guy, and so if you remember that one, or if you can even if you look up at Midget Warrior Wrestling up online, you can find some of the stuff that these guys do. And like I said, it was very awesome. I think they even had a local New Mexico lady that was wrestling last.
There was a New Mexico. Yeah, there was a like Miss New Mexico.
Yeah, some
character and several. I mean, I think they've completely redone the act and expanded it. You know, because they, like everybody else, was coming out of the pandemic, so they had to rebuild the troupe, if you will.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that made that special is because just when the pandemic hit, I think we were getting ready for a big St. Patrick's Day party. Yeah, we were getting ready to have a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden, the whole pandemic hit. We had to postpone that. So I think that was our first St. Patrick's Day back since the pandemic. I mean, you had a few events earlier, and but that was the first big one back. And it was a blast. And I would encourage everybody to get your tables, get your tickets, and get out here to enjoy it. Like Max said, it's going to be a big night overall in general here downtown. But if you want a lot of fun, you cannot miss out on the midget warrior wrestling. It's going to be a blast. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, once again, it makes me feel I picked the wrong lifetime to stop drinking. But you know, things like that happen. You know, I'll put it this way: at least I'm going to remember the entire night. And I'm going to have a lot of fun anyway. And
several people won't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there will be a few that won't. But
yeah,
it is.
We're looking forward to that. There's some stuff coming up in April that's going to be big, obviously. And then we're working on a couple other kind of smaller shows. Can't quite get into who it is yet, but there's a couple of artists that want to do kind of like an acoustical.
Like an unplugged type of set?
Kind of like that, unplugged like, yeah.
Okay.
Here at the Amador on the patio, there's some album releases and stuff coming, and they want to work us in on part of that promo tour. So there's going to be a lot of those types of opportunities, and we're trying to figure out ways to do more of that stuff where to kind of incorporate, especially the Amador, because the Spoke does what the Spoke does, but the Amador is really where we focus the music, and so. There's going to be some opportunities in the spring for that as well. And check it out. I'm a live music person, so I'll check out live music. And I mean, I really like it when you're able to use the entire patio. And I mean, last year we came out for the Paul McCartney. Yeah, we had the Paul McCartney thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the rain got us on that one.
We have another one that's coming. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. It's planned for June 8th. Yes, June 8th. We're finishing up the contract on that one. It's going to be another pop show with Lonnie.
Oh,
yeah. And so we have a couple of different bands that we're looking at that
could kind of go with that.
Yeah, that go with the pop shows, because those are a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun, and Lonnie is awesome. And I think the musicians that he gathered to help out with that were amazing players, and it was a whole lot of fun. To go ahead and do that, and being a big Paul McCartney fan, I enjoyed the whole show right there. But I like that you're able to get quite obviously a variety of events here and a variety of performers from the Midget Warrior Wrestling to have a whole bunch of fun with, to events like Paul McCartney, and then some of the other live events that you have over here as well. Cinco de Mayo week also a pretty big one for you as well.
Cinco de Mayo week is going to be big. We're about to release all that. It's going to be for sure a 2-day event this year on Cinco de Mayo, which happens to land on a Friday this year, and then the 6th. We were looking at maybe doing broadcast of the boxing, but I don't really. I think we're gonna end up with another big show.
Another big show.
Yeah.
Are we? No chance we will be doing another Star Wars trivia night, right?
Well, I mean, Thursday's open at this point. We'll check to see if the artist we're working on lands on the Thursday the 4th, or it ends up on the 6th.
Okay. Because Max and I actually hosted that one last year, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it
actually falls right on it this time.
It falls right on it.
Yeah.
May the 4th. May the 4th be with you for the geeks out there that understand that one. But yeah, like I said, a variety of different types of events and things that you've got going down over here. There's always something different, and there's always something going on that you can have fun with.
Well, and inflation's going to bite this year. I mean, you can really already see
Yeah,
it everywhere.
you can feel
we're
it.
trying to keep stuff as local as possible because it's going to be, gas is going to shoot up again.
Well, I can tell you this. I heard a story, and I know this isn't necessarily quite sports related, but it's very interesting because you talk about the prices of everything going up, and in the California border, they are now bringing into a lot of people smuggling eggs into the United States.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So they've got hundreds of eggs sitting in their because it's illegal to bring eggs over from Mexico into the U.S. or into California there. So there are a lot of people going over to Tijuana and Mexico right there to go ahead and bring eggs over because it's cheaper to buy them there. And they're getting caught, and so they have this warehouse that's full of eggs that they confiscated. So if you didn't have to worry about fentanyl or drugs in general or whatever else might be coming over, coming over the border right now CBP has to worry about people smuggling eggs. And if that isn't a sign of how things might be going for 2023 as far as inflation and everything else right there, that's just like one of those things going like, really eggs,
Well, I mean, stuff like the eggs and the natural gas, well, that's going to pass. I mean, natural gas shot up actually back in like August, September, and we're just feeling effects over the winter. But it's
that's because you use it more.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
the
spot price is already back down to like a 3-year low. We don't see it yet, obviously, but that comes up in cycles, and that's going to be one of those things there. But go ahead and bring it back around to sports, since we are a sports show. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring it around back to sports. Let's talk about that basketball game.
The one this last week, where they got their second win right there. They are actually playing tomorrow night in Phoenix. They're going to be taking on Grand Canyon, hopefully looking to get that third win. And it seems like they're starting to get more focused. They're starting to becoming the team that we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think they just had one heck of a ride, and you can see that they're
just a small distraction.
A little distracted, but they got a little fire going on, and from where I was sitting on Saturday's game, they just absolutely stayed. I mean, even though there was continued mistakes, but they just were way more engaged. Well, I can you just see it in their eyes.
I can say this: they're starting to play more as a team. I think Saturday night they had 5 players in double digits.
Yes,
and so they're spreading the ball around. Their people are getting their points. Yeah, we got shooters. We definitely got shooters.
Yeah.
So if they can get opened up and they can do that, and a lot of people scoring. So I think we got to see how we're playing when we come to the tournament, but we got to get into the tournament
first. We got to get there first.
Yeah, we got
people that haven't.
There's a lot. So. We do have a little bit of catch up to go on to go ahead and get into the tournament. Well, when tournament time comes, if you're playing well, that's what's going to matter. If you can win out in the tournament, that's going to be one of those things. But they got to make it to the tournament, and fingers crossed we get there, and we'll see how we do overall in general. And I think it's really good that they started to come around. I'm hoping that we can get some coaches on here, maybe a couple of players. I'm speaking with John Opila right now. Hopefully we'll be able to get a few more people in from MSU to get a little bit better thing. I'm actually hoping that we will get a chance to talk to Coach Kill after his win in December, getting that Quick Lanes Bowl. Is something that, if you would have said a year ago when we were first meeting Coach Kill, when we were meeting Jerry, that, we're going to get 7 wins. We're going to go to a bowl game and we're going to win it. And most people don't like, no, we're not. No, we're not going to do that. But we did. And I think all of that is a testament to Coach Kill. And he will say that they're not quite playing Coach Kill football.
Yeah, no, they started he inherited the team he inherited, and it started slow with the issues that I think we're expecting.
Yeah.
But he started it, and it just.
And I think Diego Pavia
Yes,
came out and just really showed himself as a great quarterback, and I think he's going to be our guy going forward. And the offensive line was able to hold up. If you keep, well, here's the thing about Diego though that I've noticed. He's not afraid to run, and he's not afraid to put his shoulder down to go ahead and get that yardage. In fact, those last few drives at the end of the game to go ahead and extend those possessions, because I think we had 6 minutes to go at the end of the game. And, you got to get a couple of first downs. And it was his runs and him throwing his shoulder down to just get those first downs, to keep possession of that ball to run that game. So, yeah.
And you're like Diego or Doc, on the basketball team, it's like they're the other players will follow that courage, and someone's got to step up and do it.
Oh, yeah. And Diego is definitely about to lead the team, and especially that night, it was really awesome. I mean, obviously, he was going to get picked as the MVP for the game, and so that was an obvious thing right there, because he was just leading by example. You want this, then show me you want it that bad, and I think he did that, and I feel really, really good about that. We're going to have some defensive holes that we're going to have to shore up when we get to the new season, because we've lost a couple of really good defensive players, and if they can protect Diego, then I think Aggie football looks in good shape. And like we said, the Aggie basketball is coming around. Coach Adams has the women playing really, really well. They had a little bit of a speed bump on Saturday, but they've been winning, and they've been doing really well in WAC place. So that is looking good. We were talking with Coach about NMSU baseball. They're really looking forward to this season, so everything that way is looking good. And we can't forget that some of the other sports like diving just finished up.
Women's soccer is really good right now.
Women's soccer, of course, they're coming off as WAC champs, and we'll be heading into Conference USA this next year. So we'll see how Coach Bartz has everything going right there. But some of the other track and field events, they just had another meet up in Albuquerque, I think, this past weekend. And swimming and diving is another one that's going around. So all the sports at NMSU seem to be going really well. And of course, last week they were recognizing a lot of the players as student athletes. A lot of the student athletes that had their 3.0 GPA and higher. So that's one of the things that Coach and I talked about last week, is that the fact that these are student athletes, that they're doing all this, they're practicing, they're on the road, but they still got to get their work done. They still got to get their projects done. They still got to do all their studying and tests and everything else like that. So we can't forget these are student athletes, and these are basically, let's be honest, at our age, these are just kids being able to do all of that. And so they should be celebrated for being able to get all that stuff and being able to hold the GPA right there with everything that's going on. So I was really glad that they recognized a lot of the players.
I saw that, heard that during a couple of the games, and I think most of their GPAs were double what mine was when I was there. So,
well, mine was pretty good for 2 semesters.
Yeah, I was not very good.
Mine was pretty good for 2 semesters, and then it just kind of went
through, but it was a little.
It was a little dicey. Yeah, mine was pretty good for the first couple of semesters, where I would go into my mail and like, oh, somebody sent me a check. That's nice.
Yeah,
but then
they were like, Bauer, you have to go now.
Yeah,
you have to finish and go.
You have to finish.
Yeah.
What are you on, a 7-year plan?
No, not quite. I think I was six. I think I was 5.5 or 6 years. Yeah.
I had a friend.
I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Oh no, it was. I loved going to school. I loved being on campus. Actually, for a while there, I would go on campus just to eat lunch sometimes. Because it was just a lot of fun. Or go grab breakfast when they used to have that one little area where the post office is now.
Yeah, the little food court.
Yeah, that little food court right there. We used to love to go over there and grab a hot chocolate and croissant or a donut or something like that, eat breakfast on campus, and then go off and get all my other things done. Because the NMSU campus is, quite honestly, it's a pretty cool place to hang out.
Yep.
Of course, if I do it now at my age, just creepy, but I'm not going to do that anymore. But I actually even had a friend of mine who finished everything in 3 years, because he had a bet with his dad. His dad was going to give him like this full European travel type thing for 3 months and everything. After he said, but you got to finish in 3 years. And he finished in 3 years and he got that trip. So.
Yeah, I would have lost that bet.
Yeah, me too. No, I would have. That's like, can you pay for dinner tonight? Maybe that would be awesome, and I'll give you 6 at least.
So who's your money on for the big game?
Oh, you want to talk about the big game? We can talk about the big game. I had a question of the day last week where I was asking everybody, are you going to go for the Chiefs? Are you going to go for the Eagles? Or are you just trying to figure out which flavor wings you should order?
There you go.
Because, you know, your team didn't make it. As everybody knows, I am a 49ers fan, and that was harsh when you get down to your fourth string and then to find out that Purdy tore his UCL and they still put him in there in the fourth quarter. You know, that was kind of harsh. But for the fact that if we got 17 games in a row, I was happy. So I was thinking like a nice little spicy barbecue wing would be good. But overall, I think that Philadelphia will probably take that one.
Think so?
Yeah, I
It's gonna
think
be
so.
close.
Fairly close. I think we'll be within a score at least. So
Yeah.
we're talking 7 or 3 points. But
Well, if they get Mahomes running for his life, it's over. I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing.
and I don't want to say anything bad because it's not like I don't like Patrick Mahomes, but a good friend of mine has a daughter, had the biggest crush on Patrick Mahomes. So you know how his hair kind of goes up like this, a little bit like Beaker
Right.
from the Muppets.
Yeah.
So I kept calling him a Muppet, and she would get angry and upset, and you just had to go that on. So I said, you know, when they were asking me who's going to win, I'm saying anything but the Muppet. I'll be fine.
Anything but the Muppet.
Anybody but Mahomes would be fine because, you know, I'm still a little bit bitter about that Super Bowl where they beat the Niners a few years ago. So like I said, the Philadelphia has been pretty consistent all year long. So I think they're going to be pretty good. And I think
That's
they'll
good.
probably
They're
take
going to
the
be hard
game.
to beat. Yeah.
They are. It's going to, what I'm hoping for is just a good game because, you know, the worst thing ever is when you get a lopsided game and it's just no fun. At that point in time, the best thing about the whole big game is just looking for the most awesome commercials.
Yeah.
Got.
Yeah.
By the way, 30-second commercial for that day for the broadcast, $7 million.
Wow. That's amazing.
So how many commercials are you buying?
None. Yeah. not a zilch.
Yeah, $7 million for a commercial on the big game there. But you know, that's going to be coming up this weekend. To kind of throw back a little bit to this past weekend, did you catch any of the Pro Bowl stuff?
Yeah, I watched some of it. I mean, at first I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. But, you know, I mean, I guess it's fine. I'll tell you what I did like.
Okay.
What I did like was that it was the flag football, I guess, didn't really bother me because you got to see them with their pads off. You got to see their face, got to see the character a little more, which, you know, you don't really get to catch that in the games as much. And, you know, I like to see them interacting and looking like they're having fun out in someone's backyard.
Yeah.
That part of it, I liked. All the other stuff that went with it, not so much. I mean, I get what they're doing. They're kind of looking towards the future fans of the sport, you know, and they got to spread their wings a little. And it was cool that they like took it down to like in basketball, be like half court. It was a little 40-yard field.
Yeah.
And that part I thought was fun because I bet you if you were there, it was pretty cool.
I bet you was. You get a little bit of that like smaller field arena football type thing, closeness to that thing.
I mean, past that, you know, whatever. I mean,
yeah. I mean, when they first started talking about all the changes and everything else, and for the most part, I was just like, I can see maybe how somebody could get into that. And yes, there are some like tests of skills or anything else like that. But the first thing that popped into my mind is, for those of us that are old enough to remember here, I'm going to date myself hard right here. Are you ready? I was like, I don't know if I needed a battle of the network stars for professional football players.
Oh,
you remember that?
A little bit of that.
It was a little bit. All of the other events other than the flag football were like that. And I do agree, the flag football game was at least fun.
Yeah.
And you're right, you got to see the players a little bit more, and at least that was kind of competitive, and everybody was having fun. You know, because that's to me, the pro football or the Pro Bowl game was always something where you're getting the best players where they can highlight their skills and what they do and everything else like that. It's the same with an all-star game, you know, with basketball and everything else, which they've also changed this year. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But I wanted a little bit of that competitiveness, and you can see their skills a little bit more, which the flag football game did show a little bit of their skills. But I mean, you're not going to get a sack on everybody, but you're going to see that speed when somebody can reach over and grab that flag. So it was a little bit more.
Statistics are on that. I mean, they're there without their pads on. I mean, look like their ankles were all taped and stuff. But even in that situation, they could have easily gotten hurt, and then it's like, oh, there goes. Yeah,
I mean, there's a possibility, and I think that's another one of the reasons that they kind of changed it, is to keep everybody safe. You know, you don't want injuries, because a lot of these are some of the prime players for their teams. These are some of the big guys that are in there. And you don't want somebody to be playing in the Pro Bowl and all of a sudden they tear something, break something, and then they're out for the next season, because they're not going to make that Pro Bowl next year if that happens. So I understand the safety aspect of going ahead and getting that in there. But, it was to me, like I said, if you go back in the day, and for those that don't know what Battle of the Network Stars was,
I remember that.
like I said, I told you I was going to date myself hard. This was like 70s and early 80s, and what they would have
like
is
William Shatner when he was young.
William Shatner's. I'm thinking all of these sitcom stars from the late 70s, early 80s. You'd have the Happy Days crew and all this stuff. But the networks used to play nice.
Yeah.
And they would get all of their sitcom stars and all the stars of some of their shows that they would have on there, and they'd actually compete in several kind of physical competitions. If you ever, I'm sure there's some stuff up on YouTube where you can just search for Battle of the Network Stars. But that, to me, at that time was a lot of fun. But then again, we're talking actors and actresses and sometimes kids and stuff like that, where there were kid actors that would be playing that. You'd see, the bartender from Love Boat or something out there competing in something.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite events was always the Simon Says type thing.
Oh
I don't know if you remember that, right?
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? Okay. See, I told you, I'm dating myself hard right here. Basically, they had one of those professional Simon Says guys. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Sometimes he comes out like halftime of basketball games now these days and everything else like that. But he's a pro guy, and you get him all lined up. I mean, you could do it right here on the patio. You get him lined up, and he goes over there and he starts giving you commands. And of course, it's Simon Says. If he doesn't say Simon Says, you don't do it. That would be one of the things. And if you do it, you're out. And he could eliminate half the group in like the first 30 seconds because some people aren't just paying attention to it. But I remember some of that. So to me, a lot of that extracurricular stuff, it was cool to see some of the skills that they have and how they do that, which is something that they've always done for the Pro Bowl or even the big game weekend, because they'll have some of those other stuff where you can throw your ball and all this stuff. And they had some of those kind of competitions. But to bring that into that kind of Pro Bowl weekend, it seemed just like it was not as much fun for me, but at least the flag football game was okay.
I don't know that they really have a choice at this point. They either got to come up with something like this and see if it sticks, or just do a golf tournament or something, because what else, and I mean, like you say, and most of those guys are already nursing pretty serious injuries.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are. There are a lot of people that would have been chosen for a Pro Bowl but couldn't play because they were injured or they got something like that. So I understand the safety aspect, and I understand that. I just like a little bit more competition on there. But that's just me and my personal opinion. You don't have to.
I had it on in the background while I was barbecuing. Just let it go.
Let it go.
It was fine.
It was a good reason to get together for a barbecue and a couple of beverages.
The weather was so beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice this last weekend. 60-degree temperatures in February, January. So that's one of the reasons I moved to the desert that time. And like I said, we're out here, and it's been a really kind of a chilly night. We're supposed to get really, really cold tonight. If that moisture hangs out in the air, I would be prepared. Like I'm going into a little PSA now. I'd be prepared for maybe a little bit of that frost out on the windows tomorrow morning. So watch out for that one. But yeah, as far as that goes and the big game goes, I am looking forward to it. Like I said, I think the Eagles might run out, but I'm just looking forward to a good, fun game. Yeah. And then I'll be a happy camper.
And then it's going to be exciting.
And then I can move on completely over to the NBA now and find out how many other players the Phoenix Suns are going to, get lost to injury. And I tuned in for a game a couple of weeks ago as a Suns fan once again, and the entire starting lineup was injured. They had all their secondary guys that have come out. They had all their backup guys as their starting lineup. And now, of course, I think they just announced it today that officially the NBA did approve the sale. So the Suns are no longer owned by the previous owners, and they're owned by, let's see, I had that right up here. The new company. That's a billionaire mortgage lender, Matt Ishba, has been approved, and he's expected to be introduced to the new majority owner by tomorrow. I think that was being reported by ESPN.
Sounds, wow.
Yeah. Well, the previous owners were embroiled in a little bit of controversy, and so it was either going to be forced out by the rest of the owners or go ahead and sell. So.
Well, they got a lot going for them, so they got to keep things rolling.
And that's not just the Suns, but they're also talking to Mercury as well. So both teams, the WNBA team and the NBA team, were sold. interesting that sale would take place, of course, in mid-season. Usually that's a kind of an off-season type of thing, but it looks like it's been approved. They'll get it finalized. They'll make the actual announcement by tomorrow, and they should be ready to go as far as that goes. And there's a lot of other news as far as NBA stuff. Kyrie Irving got traded, of course. So he is going to be going to, I hate that I have to look this up right now. I think I'm letting the chill get to me a little bit tonight.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold.
Yeah, but Kyrie Irving is going to be finding his new team here pretty soon as well. Actually found out that the Suns made a play for him, but they didn't get him. So, that's one of the things that will happen. But like I said, once we get past the big game, then I can move on fully on to NBA and start paying attention to all that. And then we're going to get into, spring's. Spring season is going to be coming. Spring training is going to be coming up. Do you go to some of the games in Phoenix and Tucson?
Yeah, I love the D-backs. That's my thing. I like D-backs. I go to Astros a couple times a year, but
yeah. As a matter of fact, I think when we were doing our football draft, you were at a baseball game.
Yeah, that's right. That was the Astro game. Yeah,
it was an Astro game with a horrible telephone connection. Tried to do his draft on his phone. Ended up with 4 defenses and still got ahead of me in the season. I have no idea how that happened, but I'm a big baseball fan too, and I'm looking forward to the season here that we've got because once again, it's bringing up all these things that just make me feel a little bit older today, Max. Like back when they had the strike in '94. Okay, I was a big baseball fan. I played baseball as a kid. I didn't play any high school ball because I ended up cracking my ribs and just couldn't get the energy in there. It kind of gave me an asthma thing for a while there. But I played baseball a lot. I loved the game and was a big Dodgers fan at that time. But then they canceled the World Series that year. And of course, it comes down to money for a lot of players and a lot of the organizations right there. And so I got really turned off by Major League Baseball. But still, for any other baseball games that you go out to the park and you watch them live and you're in the stands right there, the NMSU baseball games, the softball tournaments and stuff that we have here in the city, all of those kind of games that they're out there on the field, I love going to those games because you're there. You're in the stands. You've got the atmosphere. You've got that noise right there. The crack of the bat. The ball going into the glove. Games are great. Chihuahuas games are awesome. It was really awesome. They were a big part of us last year. The radio station. They sponsored a few things and stuff. So the Chihuahuas games are really awesome, and it's really cool to go down there, especially when you get into their food. Yeah. You tried some of the food they have. Oh yeah, crazy.
Some of their little food kiosks are amazing.
So. Yeah, and so. Those are always fun for me to go to, but I still have a little problem watching some baseball on TV these days. So I would rather be at the game and be in the stands. And granted, not necessarily hyped about paying the $8 to $12 for a hot dog, and what I think they're going to get up to $20 probably for a beer. I don't know, something like that. But be out there in the field is something that I enjoy.
Yeah,
there, because of that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the baseball season as well, and we're going to be talking a little bit more as far if you listen up to my sports cast in the mornings. When I catch up on the sports, we've got NASCAR starting up again. They just finished their first race in LA this weekend. Daytona 500 is going to be coming up a little bit later on here. Pretty soon.
One more week.
One more week. Yeah. I think they've got 2 other events coming up, and then they've got the 500 that'll be coming up.
2 more weeks. Yeah,
you're right. 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks, and then Formula One seems to be all the rage now. All the kids love it because they're mixing in the EDM music with it. It's pretty wild, but whatever.
Well, I've played a few racing games myself. That's always a lot of fun. Golf season is going to be picking up. NMSU golf is going to be up there, and of course, being here in Cruces, like we talk about all the time with the weather, getting out and few of the tournaments, charity tournaments, and different things that will be coming out.
Bull riding in here.
Not with a real bull.
Why not? We could figure.
Surely no, that would be that because you got to have a place to put the bulls.
We could put the stocks over in the parking lot, and
that's a possibility.
The chutes, they could come right out of the spoke.
Right out of the spoke, just right out of the work. Well,
like a VIP table right there.
Well, having been to coming from northern New Mexico and having to been to my fair share of rodeos up there, if you've got the cleanup crew, because there's a lot of bull that's thrown out there right there, and you get that smell of the rodeo for sure. However, very easily you could probably get a mechanical bull in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, mechanical, absolutely. But
have a little bull riding tournament in the middle of the summer there, right out there in the grass.
Actually, we're looking at a boxing thing. That's the other reason I wanted to do the wrestling again this year, because I wanted to get another beat on that ring, because we're looking at doing maybe some amateur boxing in the summer.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, quite obviously you can fit a ring in there.
Yeah. No, I think after last year seeing the setup, there's a lot of different ways to set it up, and that's a
and it depends on the size of the ring and what they want. It's all that. Yeah. But no, you fit a wrestling ring in there, no problem, and that ring can definitely fit out there, and you've got plenty of room for seats around there. So yeah, some boxing events.
Yeah, I think we could fit about 1,000 by the time it's all said and done, between bleachers and tables and everything.
And the balcony.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good place to watch a fight. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome. So it'd be pretty interesting to see what kind of sporting events you can bring in here to the Amador, and then we'll be able to go ahead and talk about.
That's right.
That's going to be a lot. But there's so much sports-wise that's going to be coming our way right here. Like we mentioned, all of that, and we didn't even get into the fact that we're into February, and then we're going to hit March Madness.
Yep. And
we're going to do that. And by the way, great place to watch a lot of the games. Come down over here to the Spoke for sure, and get all those in. But there's so much that's going to be going on, and I'm just looking forward to it and looking for everything that you're going to have here at Amador Live and the Spoke and everything else right here. So,
should be a good year.
That being in, thanks a lot, Max, for coming out and helping me out right here. We had a little mix up with some guests, and as far as weeks that we were getting able to go start here. But I'm glad you can help me out. Glad we can talk about that. Yeah. And like I said, there's a lot going down here at the Amador Live every weekend, and especially for Valentine's Day week. Actually, Valentine's week that's going to be going on. You've got a lot that you can come out here and enjoy at the Amador, at Broken Spoke, at 575. I'm missing one right there. Jack's. I haven't been up there yet. So all of those that are here.
It's a sport unto itself up there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out sometime. But yeah, all of that's going to be going on here, and you can definitely have a lot of fun, even if it's just coming down to hang out with some friends or hang out with us. Remember, we are here every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, right here on the patio. Rain or shine, unless we have that rain come down a little bit. And it is a little bit chilly tonight, but we are going to be warming up here pretty soon, because that's just what happens here in Las Cruces. So thanks for hanging out with us. And thanks, Mac, once again, for helping me out today and in that emergency sense. And once again, we will see you guys next week with Mesilla Valley News Sports right here from the Amador Live. And we'll see you at 6 o'clock next Tuesday.